and she needs absolutely no introduction. I first, and as most of you know, I first met Felicia via a comment on a blog when she righteously came to the defense of somebody who actually happens to be at this event right now. And Frank Sousa and I kind of chimed in about what we felt was kind of an unfair attack on a person. And Felicia said, I kind of like these guys. I don't know why she said that, but I was really, really lucky. She made a big impression on me long before Chicago, but I got to go up to Ross Goldberg's event in Chicago, and we had a great time. I think she's an impressive individual. And then I was really, really, really honored because she came up to me at the close of my presentation in Chicago and said, you spoke directly to me, and I want to be a part of your Impact Action team. And we went on to do all kinds of things. Actually, I don't know, how many of you have ever seen the video that Felicia did for the Impact Action Team results? Anybody seen that? We're going to show a piece of that maybe. They have the DVD. We'll show a piece of the great job that she did with that as part of the Impact Action Team. She did amazing things. Now she's gone on, I mean, obviously she started out as a professor teaching communication and speech. She's a heavy-duty expert from an intellectual side of things, but she has an amazing heart, an amazing gift to give to other people, and it really is an honor to be able to introduce to you Felicia Slattery, my friend and wonderful associate.
Sometimes you feel like you just want to take a deep breath, don't you? Yeah. Woo. This has been a wild ride of a weekend. It's hard for me to turn off the MC and the now I'm a speaker. But it really has been just an amazing weekend. As I look around the room, I'm seeing new friends, I'm seeing old friends. I guess if you want to count July as old. Oh, Frank says I'm pretty old. Birgit. So it's just, I'm honored to be here. I'm honored to be speaking. And, you know, I'm going to allow you to eat your lunches. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to do something probably a little differently than I might do if I was on the big stage. My goal is, well, first before I tell you what my goal is, have you ever had a really fabulous idea? And then you got there, and you're really excited about it, and it's like, this is going to be fabulous, right? And then you get there and you go, oh, that's not going to work at all. So I'll tell you my fabulous idea, and I'll tell you why it won't work, and then I'll tell you what we're going to do about it, okay? So my fabulous idea was, you know what, it's going to be it's going to be an intimate group. We're going to have a lot of great people in the room. Why don't I do what I do best? I'm a teacher, as Ken said. I'm a college professor. That's what I do. I've been teaching people for years, since the late 90s, and actually since I was 6 years old. My favorite game when I was a little girl was school, but only if I could be the teacher. That was my favorite game. So I've been a teacher literally my whole life, and I'm actually a real teacher and got paid for it and the whole thing. So I've been doing that for a lot of years. So I thought, you know what, instead of just speaking, let's do a workshop and let's do some teaching, right? That's a great idea. Okay, except what's the problem with that? You're eating. And by this point, you're a little tired. And you got some things on your mind. So I think what I'm going to do instead is we'll do a sort of workshop. And I've got a handout here. I'm going to pass that out to you in just a second. And so what I'd like you to do, I know you've got your forks in your hands, so you're not going to be able to have pens and paper and so forth. And that's okay, because what we'll do is I will go through and I'm going to facilitate with you. What I've done is I've created a model of business communication. It's a model of effective business communication. This is the first time it's being debuted ever in the world. You're the first to see it. Yay. I've showed it, I think, to 5 people ever. And a couple of folks that were sitting at the table, and I said, what do you think? Frank got to see it this morning. I said, Frank, look what I want to talk about. So I've got my model here. Now, I have to say, the people who know me, the people who have been subscribers of mine, they know. I'm so happy to hear today, to hear Bob Berg say that 20% of success has to do with technical skill and 80% with communication skill, because that 20%, yeah, I'm not so big on that. So hooray, I got the other 80%. So what I want to do is I'm going to pass these out to you. And this is my actual model. And the reason I wanted to mention that is this is as fancy schmancy as I get. I did this on Microsoft Word, and it has all kinds of bells and whistles. Oh, that's okay. Have a seat. I'll pass them out. I'm used to walking around the room. I'm a college teacher. So I am going to pass these out to you guys, and you can take a look at them. And what I'm going to do is I thought, I'm just going to go through, and I'm going to explain what's on here. And then I thought I'd help a couple of you figure out how you can use these tools for your business. Does that sound okay? All right. So we'll do that. We need one more over there. Let's see how many I have. Here we go. Keep my fingers crossed we have enough. All right.
I can share.
I have a couple more up here. Who else needs another one? All right, great. Excellent. Okay, so before I get to the model, enjoy your salads for a minute. I'm going to tell you a little story about myself and how I came to be here, because a lot of people want to know, like, who are you? And what is this about? You've seen me for the last 3 days kind of jumping around and doing some fun stuff and giving away free things. I love giving away free stuff. Isn't that good? It's always fun. It's fun for me. It's fun for the audience. Okay, and so Frank needs me to speak up a little louder, and I am going to. I've had a microphone all weekend, so I've had to tone my voice down. So now I'm excited to speak up again. I used to do stuff on stage in the theater, and we're like, wow, you're really loud. You need to quiet down. So this is great. All right. So people say, how long have you been doing this? I told you when I was a little girl, 6 years old, my favorite game was school if I could be the teacher. When I was 7, I started my public speaking career. Not paid, but I was asked to stand up at my church and speak when I was 7 years old, and I liked it. So ever since then, I've been speaking. I talked a little bit about this the other day when we were sharing our stories. And so all through high school, all through college, I was a competitive speaker. I'm good at talking. That's great. And I remember thinking at the time, if I could have a job where I could talk on the phone and talk to people and make money at it, that would be awesome. So fast forward, all through college, I was a national champion speaker on a team where we were national champions, which is really not that big a deal to a lot of people until you put it into perspective. Think about like the big basketball college franchises or the big football franchises, right? And how fabulous these teams are. We're in Florida right now, as we're listening. There's a lot of great Florida football that goes on, and I was in Texas a few weeks ago. Texas loves football. Think of some of these big franchises, and they give scholarships to their students to go to college and compete for them, right? And so I had a scholarship to go to compete. I was on the national championship team. We were national champions for 15 years in a row. Now think about that, because there are a lot of colleges that have public speaking programs. I was recruited to be on the #1 team. So like we weren't televised. We weren't broadcast around the world. I have a feeling, maybe there's an idea, business idea. Somebody write this down. I'm going to take the internet marketing model, the public speaking world in colleges. That'd be great. And so, because we just didn't have the publicity. So a lot of people didn't know about us, but here we were doing some really cool stuff. And I thought, this is really great. I love this. And I went and I talked to a college professor, and I said, I love teaching. I want to grow up and be a college teacher. And he said, oh, no, honey, don't do that. Just go get a real job. So I did. And it wasn't long before I found my way back into the academic world, because I loved it. I loved teaching. I loved being in front of people. But I was in the academic world from the sales side. And that's what I was doing. I was an enrollment counselor / salesperson. They don't call it sales in college. They like to pretty it up. So I was an enrollment counselor, and I signed people up to go to college. And as I did that, I would stand up in front of rooms and groups just like this in hotels all over the Chicago area, and I would sign people up to go back to college. So every job I've ever had, that job, I've had all kinds of jobs, included me standing in front of audiences, talking to them and getting them interested in something. So this is something I know a lot about. And I thought, this was in my early 20s. My dream life would be, someday I want to get married. I want to be a mom. and I want to be able to be home with my kids, but I'd love to just teach a college class maybe one night a week so I can get out and use my non-mom brain, right? Fast forward to 4 years ago, I had a 2.5-year-old little girl. I was happily married. I was teaching a couple of classes a semester, and I was living my dream. I was living my dream. Now, I know you're eating, but could you do me a favor, please? Put your fork down for just a second. Close your eyes, if you would, and visualize. What would your life look like if you were living your dream? How does that look and how does that feel to you? What kind of house do you live in? What kind of car do you drive? What kind of people surround you on a regular basis? Feel the warmth of that. Feel the relationships of the people in your life. You have the most amazing people that you have ever dreamed of in your life. Everything is exactly as you want it to be. Put your hand on your heart for just a second and breathe that in. Feel that feeling. That was how my life was. I had everything I wanted. I was pregnant with our second daughter, and you can open your eyes. And I woke up in the middle of the night, and it was about 6 weeks before I was due. We had just moved into my dream house in the suburbs with a big yard and a 2-car garage. Yay, that was a big deal for us. And I woke up in the middle of the night in some serious pain. And I said, I had had a normal pregnancy with my first baby, perfect delivery. In fact, I didn't have any drugs, no IV. It was, for the moms in the room, if you've heard of the Bradley method, I used the Bradley method, so there was nothing. It was great. And so I had a normal birth, and this time around I woke up and I thought, something's really wrong. This is not right. Got on the phone with the midwives, get to the hospital now, talk to the hospital. And they did test after test after test, and they said this was the first time I heard of a disease called HELP syndrome. It's a scary, awful name for it. It's kind of an ironic name, HELP. Nobody's being helped. It stands for hemolysis, elevated liver, low platelets. Basically, it meant that my blood was turning toxic and my liver was ready to explode. That day literally changed the trajectory of my life. It was 3 days before Christmas. New house. I had been in the hospital and they said, well, you've got this. And these tests came back, but now today you're testing okay. You can go home. Don't do anything when you get there. Christmas week, moved into a new house. Don't do anything when you get there. I said, okay. Okay. So I didn't. I went home and I sat up with my feet on the bed. I woke up that same night with the same pain. Back to the hospital. This time it was 10 times worse. And have you ever been to the hospital and you've seen those charts with the smiley and the sad faces, and they tell you like what's your pain level, and it's 0 if you're smiling, and it's, you know, it's the crying sad face if it's 10. And he said, what's your pain level? And I said, 12. 12. Can it be a 12? I was in that much pain. It was horrific. And so they finally, this particular disease that I had, it masquerades as other different, easier things to fix. So they wanted to make sure it wasn't one of the easy things to fix. So that was the lottery I won. Less than 1% of all pregnant women get this disease. Should have bought that lottery ticket, right? And so they had to deliver my baby. It was an emergency C-section. According to the doctor, I was 4 to 8 hours from death. Had they not delivered my baby when they did, both me and my baby would have died. And by the way, I'll just fast forward for you. She's 4 years old and fabulous now. So, but lying there, I don't know how many of you have had the experience of going into one of those freezing cold operating rooms. And you're lying there. And now this was an emergency situation, and it was the middle of the night. It was 4 o'clock in the morning. And they had called in doctors and anesthesiologists and nurses because they had just found out what I had was one of the most deadliest kinds of diseases that a pregnant woman could ever have. I was dying. And they had to get anesthesia into me so that they could deliver my baby, and that was what would save my life. And I heard the anesthesiologist, he said, oh, just forget it, and he jabbed a needle into my neck because they couldn't run it anywhere else. And then I heard him go, oh no, that's a hematoma. Now, I'm not a medical professional. I don't know what that meant, but it didn't sound good. Well, later I found what it meant was, it was a bruise that bruises inside. So it doesn't bruise on the outside, it pushes to the inside. This is how I understand it. And because of that, because of where it was on my neck, they weren't sure I was going to be able to breathe when I came out of surgery. And so, having been through the horrific pain of having this disease, the next thing I remember was after, oh no, that's a hematoma, is blackness. I'm lying there, and I'm thinking to myself, what's happening? I can't move my fingers, I can't open my eyes, I can't move my feet, I can't speak. I was paralyzed in that moment, and I'm hearing people around me, and I'm saying to myself, open your eyes, open your eyes. It wasn't happening. Move a finger. It's not happening. And I hear my husband say, I think I'm going to go out and get something to eat. Now you've met my husband. He eats a lot. And I'm thinking to myself, don't leave me, don't leave me. And now at this point, I'm desperate because I can't move, I can't speak. And so I'm thinking, what can I move? What can I move? And I was able to move one muscle, this one. So I'm twitching my cheek madly. Don't leave me, don't leave me. And he goes, oh, her face is twitching. And the nurse goes, oh, that's normal. It happens out of anesthesia. He's like, okay, then I really am going to go eat. I was like, that just figures. So I'm terrified. I can't move but one muscle, which is apparently useless. And slowly I came out of that. As I was coming out of it, he left the room, the nurses were there, and I'm thinking to myself, is this what it's like to be in a coma? Maybe I'm in a coma. I'm stuck in here, and I can't get out. And this is the sound I heard. I might be in a coma. What is that sound? It's a ventilator. So they had this machine breathing for me. So now not only can I not move but one muscle, I can't speak, and I'm thinking I'm in a coma. I hear this horrible sound and realize I'm not breathing for myself. But I know that I can. I can feel that I can breathe on my own. The first thing I did when I finally regained my alert state, which was not long after that, about an hour, I started motioning for a pen. Because when you have a ventilator, the tube goes down your mouth so you can't speak. I couldn't speak. That's trouble. So give me a pen. I need to communicate some way. Okay, get this out of my mouth, and where is my baby? Because in that moment I realized there's no baby anymore. Where's my baby? Your baby's fine. You're going to be here for a while. My baby was 3 days old before I saw her. They wanted to make sure I wasn't going to die. I was in intensive care. It was Christmas week. I spent Christmas in the hospital. It was a lot of pain. It was a lot. It was traumatic in the most amazing ways that you can imagine trauma. Loss of control, fantastic, amazing, horrific pain. It took a long time to come out of that. I was in the hospital myself for 10 days. My baby came back. It was a horrible experience to have to leave my baby at the hospital. She was 3 weeks there. So I went back every day for 12 hours, holding her, rocking her, talking to her. We got to know each other really well those first 3 weeks, my little one. And so it took a long time to recover from that. It was a year before I could recover mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. And when I did, I looked around. And I said, look, I'm still here. All right. Now what? Remember I said I was living my dream. I was living it. Do you know what it's like to be 34 years old and not have any more dreams because you've achieved everything you've ever wanted to achieve in your life? What do I do now? I need to meet some new goals. And so I said, you know what? There's a lot of people in the world who need what I can teach them. But I'm mom. I have my baby's 1 year old. I have another baby who's 3. What am I going to do? I know. I've heard about this coaching thing. I love this idea. Coaching's cool. How do I do that? So I started looking around and I started to realize all the coaching schools, they teach what I had been teaching for years. Listening skills, interviewing skills, communication skills, public speaking skills. Guess what? I know how to do that. I'm going to be a coach. How am I going to get clients? I don't know. I had no idea. I didn't know Adam. Darn it. Call Adam. I didn't know Adam. And so I had to learn. How am I going to do all this stuff? Step by step. Oh, you need a website. Okay, put a website up. Anybody come? No. Because you can't put up a website and just expect people to land there. You got to drive the traffic, right? So I learned all of this stuff about internet marketing. And let me tell you, last year my business grew by 4,000%. I work with 5 clients at a time, private clients, one-on-one on the phone. And the hours for dollars thing is okay, but how can you duplicate that? Well, you can do things like Bob the teacher talked about today, teleseminars. You can do like Wendy Y teaches, group coaching. You can do affiliate marketing. Mark's going to fix me up. All different kinds of models in internet marketing. And so this is how I started to drive traffic. This is how my business grew by 4,000% last year. And this is how I am now booked every single month from now through the end of the year because of effective communication skills. Because guess what? You folks are in here because you're smart. Savvy people, smart people realize that marketing skills are what? Communication skills, right? The more skills you learn, the more effective you will be when you implement those skills and you take action. Yes, when you're here, you've taken action. You've come here to learn more, to take more action so that you can take this back to your business. All right, so let's take a look at this model. All right, we're going to go through this model. I'm pretty excited about it. As you enjoy your meals. And I'm going to just describe this to you. I'm going to talk about the different pieces. And by the way, this model is based on my upcoming book. It's called Cash In on Communication. Cash In on Communication. It'll be published in the next couple of months. Ken McArthur wrote the foreword. Yay.
Great book.
Great book. And so, models based on the chapters in that book. And you will notice there may be a couple of things missing from this model, and I'm going to address those as well.
Good.
Thank you. Frank's going to tell me what he sees missing in a few minutes. All right, so the first thing, I want to start with the green in the middle because let's start with you because really it's all about you, isn't it? Let's start with you because that's where you are. That's how we begin. All right, when you want to be successful in business, you need 2 things. You need to be able to communicate your credibility, and you need to be able to communicate that confidently. If people don't believe that you think you can help them, guess what? Nobody's going to spend any money with you. You know that, right? If they don't believe that you believe you can help them, it's over. So you need to be confident in what you can help people with, okay? You need to communicate that well. You need credibility. Now, I talked about credibility the other day on the stage. I've got a whole hour talk on credibility. I've got all kinds of great stuff. I just recorded I did a special report on credibility on video. And there's actually video to go with it. How about that? So there's all kinds of pieces on credibility we can go into for a long time. But basically, you need to know that credibility, you need to be credible in order for your audience to buy. And you need to present that credibility confidently, right? That's through effective communication. All these ways around you and your business and what you need are the different ways you can communicate to build your credibility confidently so that you can communicate effectively to your ideal client on the right-hand side. When you communicate effectively to your ideal client, there's another nice big arrow there. That's cash flow. Come back to you. Woo! Who wants cash flow? Right? So when you communicate confidently and credibly through your valuable information, your products and your services, to your ideal client, giving it to them in the way that they want to receive it. It's important, the way that they want to receive it. They will give you cash flow. That's what I call a win-win situation, right? That's how I work. I do business in a win-win situation, and often a win-win-win situation when I do JVs. I make sure that what I'm doing with someone is going to be useful for them and for the people we're doing it for, right? And it's going to be good for me too. Win, win, win. As many people win, everybody's happy, and that's a good thing, right? Okay, so I wanted to just briefly go through each of these pieces, and I want to talk about the different ways and give you some tips on using these different methods to communicate confidently and credibly and effectively so that you can get the message to your client and get more cash flow back to you. I love the cycle. It's a good cycle. All right. And so what I thought, I've talked to a couple of you over the course of the weekend, so I know some folks in the room and some of the things that you're doing. So I might call a couple of you out, give you some specific ideas for your business. Would that be all right? All right, so let's start. You know what? Let's start at the bottom with face-to-face communication, because really that's what we're doing right now. That's what this event is about meeting people face-to-face. I was doing okay last year until July. I had never been to a conference at all. I'd never been to any events at all, really. I've been to a couple conferences for college professors. They're a laugh a minute. But really, nothing for my business. Why? Because I'm a mom, and I'm the mommy, and I need to be home to take care of my babies, right? Well, when I found out Ken McArthur and Frank Souza were going to be in my own backyard, and these guys were what I was about, supporting each other and helping other people, well, I had to go meet them and shake their hand. And so I went. And guess what? That event changed the trajectory of my life. I met Ken. 3 weeks later, I was on the stage because he said, what? You communicate confidently and credibly. You look like somebody who I want to have on my stage. Why, thank you. He would never have achieved that end result without meeting me face-to-face and having a conversation after hours. Remember last night I said the JVs start now at the end of the night? That's when it starts. When you get a chance to sit down and talk face-to-face. And what are you about? And the stuff that Bob Berg was going, his stuff was fabulous. Tell me, what do you like best about your business? Why did you go into your business? You get to learn about people. When you learn about people, they do think you're brilliant, by the way. The more they talk, the more you look like you're a genius. And so that's fabulous. That's communication skills, face-to-face communication. So meeting people here, I know we're kind of at the tail end of the event here, but if you haven't connected with, actually I'm going to give you a challenge because I'm sure all of you have connected with new people. I've met some fabulous new people sitting here, sitting there. Hello, everybody. I've connected with some fabulous new folks. I'm going to give you a challenge sometime between now and when you leave this event, whether it's tonight after everything is over or tomorrow, you stay for the networking in the morning. Connect with one other person you haven't connected with over the weekend, because a lot of times by now we've kind of met the people we met from the first couple of days, and we're hanging out with them. And you heard Carrie Wilkerson on the first day talk about dump your clump. Okay, so find a new clump, even if it's at the end, face to face, and meet those people and find out what you can do to help them. What can you do to help them, if there's anything at all? What can you do to help them? Remember, a win-win situation starts with both of you finding out how we can help each other, okay? Face-to-face communication is the most effective way to make that happen. It happens on warp speed when you can get to events like this. I'm preaching to the choir, so I'm going to stop because you guys are all here. All right, the next thing, hey, let's move up to the left, because joint venture partners and affiliate partners, another way to communicate effectively, right? We know about that because we're at JV Alert Live. And let's face it, does anybody in here know how to do every single thing you know how to do 100% effectively to make your business happen? Frank is the only one in the room. He says yes. Right? We all know a little bit about a lot of stuff. We all know a lot about our area. But there's so much that we don't know. A lot of times, you don't know what you don't know. I bet you've heard some tips this weekend that you went, oh, I had no idea you could do that. Who knew, right? So joint ventures and affiliate partnerships, they help you with those, who knew? I had no idea you could do that. But somebody else does. If you don't know how to get video out to the whole world in a hurry, well, gosh darn it, Frank does. Go to trafficgeyser.com, trafficgeyser.com. Get a video, put it out there. But not just to one place, to how many places does Traffic Geyser shoot your video to? Do you know? A lot. Not like 2.
No. If you do it right, you'll get it out to thousands of different places.
If you do it right, you'll get it out to thousands of places. Thousands. One video. That will shoot you. Remember when I talked about having my little website up? Nobody came to it? That'll shoot you to #1 in Google, well, on page 1 in Google before you know it. At another one of Ken's events, I watched Frank create a video on the spot, upload it, and less than 6 hours later, they were on page 1 of Google for their keywords. Amazing, right? Okay, if you don't know how to do that, Frank's the guy you want to talk to and learn about from Traffic Geyser, okay? All kinds of other things. You want to learn about public speaking to market your business? Hello, I'm right here. You want to learn about how do you put together a group coaching program? How do you do that? Wendy Y is your woman. That's what she teaches people how to do. You want a rock star website with every bell and whistle you can imagine? Chris Moose. Okay? Because we know I'm not creating any websites. Huh. This is Microsoft Word. I'm really excited about that. Okay? So the point is, you need to find people to work with. Again, this is one of those preaching to the choir things. Because you're here, you get the value of joint ventures. You're not going to succeed as well as you can succeed without joint ventures and affiliates, bottom line. You know that. That's why you're here. All right, nonverbal messages. Oh, this is one of my favorites. Nonverbal messages. Have you ever met somebody? And after just a couple of minutes, I'm walking over here because there's somebody in the room who did this. Have you ever met somebody and after just a couple of minutes you said, you know what? I really like her. She is so cool. Or, on the flip side, I don't like him. There is something about him. I don't know what it is. Okay? He's my friend. And I do like you a lot. So that's nonverbal communication. If somebody has rubbed you the wrong way, you're not sure, because I didn't say anything that was too far crazy, but just something about them. That's nonverbal messages. And by the way, you've probably heard the statistic that only 7% of your messages are verbal and 93% are the nonverbal. Yeah, that's wrong. That was a study done in 1967 by a man named Albert Morabian. It was published in 1969. He came back in 1971 and said, yeah. And then in 1973 he said, in most situations that we studied in this particular tiny little bitty context, but I will say that nonverbal messages are really important. But talk to Ray Edwards. He'll tell you that the written word is pretty important. Okay, so verbal messages and nonverbal messages are both important. But if you ignore your nonverbal messages, if you don't understand the nonverbal messages that you are sending out into the world, the cash flow isn't coming back to you. You've got to pay attention to those nonverbal messages. So I'm going to give you a couple little tips, all right, real quick. This is how you're going to connect with people. If there's somebody here you wanted to connect with who you thought, oh, that person is so cool, I want to meet that person, okay? Number one, this is the only universal nonverbal message around the world. Okay, this is for you streamers, because there could be people around the world. There's only one nonverbal message from around the world that's consistent. What is it?
Smile.
Yes, the smile. Lead with the smile because it means the same in every culture. Very nice. Okay, it means the same in every culture. Nonverbal communication beyond a smile is completely culture bound. And I'm sure we could talk to Adam about maybe some funny things that maybe he did when he got here and people are like, what are you doing? What are you saying when he came from Poland? Because we're in different cultures, Nonverbal messages mean different things. It means different stuff. So you need to be aware of your nonverbal messages to the people you're speaking to in your culture. Now we're here in the U.S., so we're going to talk about U.S. culture. So the smile is number one. Lead with that. Okay? Number two, the next thing you need to do with nonverbal messages is, this is another super simple one that a lot of times people don't do. You're going to make direct eye contact with folks when you're talking to them. And not, hi, how are you? Yep, it's good. How you doing? It's all good. Everything's good. Okay, yeah. Okay, you want to look right at the person. Why? Because we're taught that our eyes are our windows to the soul. When your eyes are your windows to the soul and you are looking at someone else's eyes and they are looking at yours, you're connecting with them on a soul level. That's what people want. We want to have that connection. Human beings need to have that soul connection. So you smile, you look directly in someone's eyes, and then, have you heard of the technique called mirroring? Okay? You want to mirror someone's gestures, not in a creepy little brother, oh, I'm going to touch my shoulder because you touched yours kind of way, but in a way that says, look, we're most attracted to people who are most like us. Okay? We're most attracted to people who we believe are most like us. And so if someone is sitting, you sit. If someone is standing, you stand. Okay? If someone has certain gestures that they use, they're comfortable with those gestures. You can use those gestures. Again, not in a creepy, you're doing it, I'm going to do it. Okay? But mirroring. Pay attention the next time you're sitting at dinner with the people that you love. People who love each other mirror each other's gestures naturally and unconsciously. Okay, next time you're sitting at dinner, watch. My little girls do this. Hi, Gracie and Miranda, I love you. Mwah. They're watching Mommy right now, I hope. Okay, they will mirror each other's gestures. And not just because my little one idolizes my big one, they're 4 and 6, but truly because they have this amazing rapport with each other. Okay, and I notice this. I'll take a drink at dinner, and suddenly everyone at the table is having a drink. The girls are picking up their drinks and having a drink because I just did it. We are connected in a way that is on the soul level. When you can connect with people on a soul level, they love you. And who doesn't want our clients to love us? When your clients love you, what happens? All kind of good things for you and them, right? So nonverbal messages, super important. All right, moving along in the model, interviewing experts. So did you meet a couple experts you might be able to interview here this weekend? Right? If you've seen some people who you thought, that would be somebody really great to meet, and maybe I could interview that person. Use the nonverbal stuff. Lead with a smile, with eye contact, and open posture, mirroring behaviors. Talk to them about them, and ask if you can interview them. There was a woman who came to this event specifically because she wanted to invite Carrie Wilkerson, me, and Adam Urbanski to speak on a teleseminar series. She wanted to meet Carrie, and she said, oh my gosh, Felicia and Adam are going to be there, I'm going. She flew to see us face to face so that she could say, can I interview you? What am I going to say to that? I don't think so. Of course! Yeah. Okay. That'd be great, right? So you want to interview people? Interviewing people actually makes you appear to be an expert. If you can learn interviewing skills, if you can learn how to ask the right questions and elicit answers from people, especially your interviewees, that others will listen to, you can use Bob's teleseminar formula that he was talking about today. Get on teleseminars with people around the world, experts and folks around the world, and people will be wowed. I also use this technique for folks who are not necessarily the guru crowd. I invite regular people who've had success. Adam Urbanski talked about regular people having success, right? We're regular people. I talk to regular people. I met someone a few weeks ago who said, oh my gosh, I'm getting paid for public speaking at an event. I'm so excited about it. I said, I need to talk to you because I have a whole list of people who ask me all the time, Felicia, how do you get paid to public speak? That's so cool. I want to do that. Well, I had somebody who was just getting started. He found a way to make money. Somebody paid him money to go and talk to an audience. He was thrilled. And so I said, would you come and talk to my audience? Can you tell them how you did that? He said, well, sure. So I wrote some questions and I asked him and we had a conversation about it. And he was great. And my audience loved it. So now, what kind of a situation did I set up? A win situation for him, because he got to talk about a win that he had, and I introduced him now to a whole new crowd of people. A win situation for my audience, because why? They got to hear from somebody who is a regular person, just like them. This is how you do it, this is how I did it, and how you can do it too. And it was a win for me because I got to provide this value to folks. I love that. Okay, so don't believe that just because someone doesn't have guru status doesn't mean they can't be considered an expert. You can interview lots of people about lots of things to elicit valuable, useful information. And people will love you for it. All right, online article marketing. Who's using this? Who's using online article marketing? Okay. So for folks that aren't, this is a really powerful way to drive traffic to your site. And this is one of the ways that I used. I mentored last year with Jeff Herring, the Internet Article Guy, for an entire year. I learned his system step by step. I used his system step by step. And guess what? I got traffic to my site. Go figure. You invest in your business. You invest in yourself. And what happens? You take action. You get the results. Yay! Online article marketing is fabulous for that. So let me give you a couple quick tips. Just because you have an article doesn't mean it's going to get you lots of traffic. You have to figure out what to do with that article and how to make that happen. So if you don't have an account right now at ezinearticles.com, those of you who didn't raise your hand, have you been to ezinearticles.com yet? You've been there, so you know what it is. Okay, it's free to set up an account. Would you agree that's one of the best article marketing sites on the internet, folks who are doing that? Okay, ezinearticles.com. What's so great about it? Well, it has a real high Alexa ranking. We talked a little bit earlier, Ken mentioned Alexa rankings. If you've got less than 1 million, I've been told, if your Alexa ranking is less than 1 million, you're doing pretty good in the internet, because it's every single page on the internet. That's a lot of pages. Think about how many individual people put up. So Ezine Articles has an Alexa ranking typically under 1,000, depending on the day. You never know what that's going to be, but it's great. So they've got lots of traffic to their site, and now they're creating links to your site. You're giving them content. People are reading this content, and they say, wow, I love that. Keep the content short, 300 to 500 words. Give people some bulleted information about what you're doing. Use your keywords. You got to find out what your keywords are. What are keywords? Well, it's the words that when somebody goes to Google and they're looking for what you do, what do they type in? Those are keywords, right? So when they type those in, you want them to be able to hit your site. Go to Google and type in signature speech. I own page 1 of Google for signature speech. Me and Barack Obama. Why? Because they call what he talks about his signature speech, right? So Barack Obama's signature speech. Too soft. So now I will say, I'm not going to stand here and say I'm an SEO expert, search engine optimization expert, because I am really not. But signature speech is something that I coined. That's a term that I coined. I now own that term because of the articles. It's not being searched on a whole lot yet. Hi, Internet Search, signature speech, thanks. Okay, more searches, that's good news for me, right? Boosts me up. So articles is what really started driving traffic for me. I started to see the magic in that. If you don't have an article already, for those of you who raised your hand, a couple of you in the back, they're not using articles yet. Before you leave here this weekend, I want you to think about what are 3 tips that you can share with people about what you do. So when somebody meets you and they say, hi, what do you do? Here, I'm going to come over now. Tell me what you do real quick. Hello, how are you? What do you do, Kate?
I'm a massage therapist.
A massage therapist. Wow, that's so cool. So what are 3 questions that people ask you about massage therapy?
What type of massage do you do?
What type of massage do you do? So there's your article. Here's 3 types of massages. Here's 5 types of massages, right? There's your article. Okay? So think about that. When people say, well, wow, what's the first question? When they hear what you do, what's the first question they ask? Answer that, put it in an article, put it on ezinearticles.com, link it to your website, boom, you're getting traffic before the weekend is over. Thank you very much. All right. Public speaking is the next one. I'm going to just work my way around relatively soon. Why? Because I want to get you guys a little bit of a break before we're done here. You know what I'm saying? Because the running back and forth. Is anybody else tired? Woo! Okay, so we're going to run through public speaking. The signature speech is one of the things that I've become known for. A signature speech is a speech that you put together to deliver to targeted audiences, to market your business, and you do it for free. You do it for free. People go, what? I'm a professional speaker. I make thousands per speaking event. I still deliver my signature speech to ideal target market audiences for free. Why? Because I never leave without getting paid. I promise you. I get 100% conversion rates. Why? Because I follow a formula that I teach. I follow a formula, a step-by-step formula. When you follow a formula, the results are going to come. Okay? I teach that formula. Bob, the teacher, will tell you, he and I sat down this weekend before he spoke today. He did a few of the things I talked about. And that wasn't a signature speech necessarily, but how fun was that? I was like, oh, I gave him that. Oh, Bob. He did great. Do you agree he did great today? He did great. So Bob, if you're watching later, he did great. Okay, so a signature speech to market your business. Now, some people this scares the living daylights out of. Some people love a stage. Can't wait to get up. Rhonda says, sign me up. Rhonda's going to be on stage later. So I can teach you how to do that. I can teach people how do you not be afraid? Here's your tip. How do you not be afraid? Adam said, are you feeling nervous before you get up to speak? Picture everybody naked. No. Don't picture anybody naked. You. Now you're nervous. Now you're nervous and weirded out. Okay. Here's 3 tips you can use. Number 1, use the tips. Use what elite athletes do. They visualize themselves going through whatever their athletic event happens to be, step by step, exactly the way they want it. They visualize themselves delivering what they want to deliver perfectly. You do that with your speech. Visualize yourself going point by point, exactly the way you want to go through your speech. Delivering it to an audience who laughs at your jokes. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And they're happy and they're having a great time and you're feeling comfortable and you're feeling confident. Number 1, visualize yourself in that moment feeling that way. Okay? Incorporate as many of the senses as possible. If you know you're going to be speaking to a lunch crowd, what does the room smell like? Do you hear coffee cups in the background? What does the room look like? Okay? Visualize as many of those pieces as you can as you're visualizing yourself going through your presentation. So visualize. Number 2, practice, please. Practice. If you're not used to doing this, if you're not used to standing in front of an audience and delivering material, you absolutely, positively, 100% need to practice every single part of your speech from beginning to end. Don't tell me, oh, I ran it over in my head. I said it in the car on the way. If you're nervous, putting it off and pretending it's not going to happen is not going to make it better. Practicing will help you. There's this thing called muscle memory. You've heard of that, right? Anybody in the athletic world? Muscle memory. It means that when you are doing something with your body will remember it later on. Okay, well, your tongue is a muscle, right? Say the words the way you plan to say them. Muscle memory really will kick in so that when you're up there and you're nervous and your mouth is doing this and your brain is saying, oh, I can't believe I forgot to say that. Oh, I can't believe I did that. Wait a minute. How do I go back and circle back and get to the point I wanted to get to, right? At least you got the muscle memory thing going on because you've already said it. You've already practiced. Okay, so visualize, practice. Be prepared. Thanks very much for that. Be prepared. Visualize, practice, and be prepared. Truly. Truly, be prepared. All right. Newspapers. I wrote a press release, put the press release in the newspaper about coming to JV Alert Live. Guess what? It got published in my papers. Quotation from Ken McArthur. A little information about the event. When you become news in your community, your credibility goes up. That's what we're talking about here, is building your credibility. All of these pieces. When you have articles that pop up on page 1 of Google, are you more credible? Yes. When you're standing on a stage at JV Alert Live, are you more credible? Yes. Right? All of these pieces, when you are interviewing an expert, are you more credible? Absolutely. All of these pieces lead to that. Social media. I'm going to put videos in with social media, friends.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
We're going to put videos in with social media. Okay, you get social media, my friends call it Twitter love. You get a little Twitter love when somebody like Ken McArthur tweets to you. When Ken tweets to me, I get like 10 new followers. When Adam tweets to me, I get 5,000 new followers. Ken says, hey Adam, tweet to me. Okay? So when you are having conversations with people and they're talking back to you, their people get to see, wow, this person knows this person. They're talking to each other. Maybe this is somebody I want to get to know. Okay, social proof, we heard in our copywriting session, is important. You need that social proof to be credible. All of these pieces go into effective communication. You believe that effective communication is what you need to be successful in any business that you have. Can I give you a present? I love presents. I'll give you presents. Okay, presents. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that I have presents for everybody. Here we go. There's something actually in these boxes for you to take with you. Yes. There's actually something in these boxes. Yes, yes, yes. I'm going to pass these out back here. Okay. Okay, wait.
I do public speaking also.
Great. She does public speaking. Does that mean she's credible? Yes, she is. To that audience, let me get a couple more boxes. And apparently I'm running low. I won't open mine. All right. Who needs box? Because these are presents. I love presents. Here you go. Help yourselves. All right. Does everybody have one who's okay? Here we go. There you go. They have easy access. All right. If you would open that box for me, I'd love to give you that present right now. So go ahead and open that box. You've just finished your dessert, so this is the dessert on top of the dessert. Just slide that off if you would. You know, it's Valentine's Day coming up.
Yes.
Those are special Valentine's kisses. I love kisses. Mwah, 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 mwah. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Love you, babies. Okay? Those are Valentine's kisses in there. Before you open the envelope, wait 1 second. Eat the candy. Hold off on the envelope. You'll notice a CD in there. That CD will probably only run in your computer, so don't stick it in your car and say, Felicia, there's nothing on here. Remember I said I am not a techie kind of gal. So I did these my actual self. I burned those myself. And if you were on Twitter a few nights ago, you saw me saying, hey, can somebody help me figure out how this works? Okay? Yes, yeah, okay. Let's talk about total transparency. I told you that 20% of the technology, not so me. But I figured out a way, it'll work in your computer, because they did work. I tested the test and track. I got that, so I tested them. What you have on there are 3 teleseminars that I did. One of them, I analyzed the closes. And I've been a public speaker for a long time. I teach public speaking. I got a kind of the academic, nerdy side of public speaking. I also take it and make it real life and real world. And so what I did was I analyzed the closes of 2 of the best closers in the industry, Dave Lacani and John DeLemme. I analyzed their closes. You have that in there. That's the best of the best for millionaire speakers. The second thing that I have on there was that interview that I did with the regular guy, Ryan. I just did that last week, and I interviewed him, and he talks about how did he get paid to stand in front of an audience and speak. You got that? And then that results and you is all about how do you figure out where you are going to go? Because we heard this weekend, if you don't know where you're going, guess what? You're probably not going to get there. You're going to end up someplace else. You don't want to end up someplace else. You want to design your life so that you're moving in the right direction, right? So that will help you do that. It gives you some information on goal setting, some of the mistakes that people make in setting their goals, and some of the things that you need to do to make sure that when you set your goals, you're moving forward in the right direction. Okay, so that's my gift to you. Okay? Enjoy the chocolate. Okay, now you can open the envelope. See? It's not a check. Okay. What I have just given you is something that I have never presented before in public. You are the first people to see this. I have started in the last few weeks. I move quickly. I get an idea for something, I make it happen because I'm not slow. I just have to, this is a fabulous idea. I want to make it happen. Okay? My tech team, because remember, I'm not so good with the tech. My tech team moves a little slower than I do. They don't move at the speed of Felicia, so that's okay. So I've just mentioned to my list, hey, I'm going to have this ultimate or platinum communication package. They haven't heard about the ultimate yet. So this platinum communication package, it's a membership program, a group coaching program where I am going to take you through month by month all of these skills that we've talked about. I'm going to teach you what I know from my communication background, and I'm going to have experts, some friends, come and share some information as well. Okay? I've been fortunate to meet some really fabulous folks. I've already admitted very freely, I don't know everything. But I know enough people that when you get them all together in one room, wow, there's some power. Okay? So this program includes, I'm really excited about it because, and like I said, I only work with 5 private clients at a time. I've had a lot of people say to me, but Felicia, I want to work with you. Well, Mommy, I'm not taking time away from my baby. So how can I do this? How can I spread myself in a way that I can help a lot more people? And so this is what I came up with. So there's going to be a monthly private group seminar. I'm going to be teaching that from what I know about my communication skills. There's going to be a monthly podcast recording with my expert friends. So if you're available at 7 o'clock in the morning, we'll get on the phone and record it when you're available, Frank. Frank's going to teach people about video. Keeping my fingers crossed on that. Anytime. Great. So I've got Frank, check. Okay. But I have all kinds of friends in the industry. I'm friends with Carrie Wilkerson, the Barefoot Exec. Do you think she could teach you a little something about building a business? I'm friends with Brad Semp, who teaches people to develop systems. I'm friends with Perry Lawrence, who is Ask Mr. Video. And he teaches you how to put together the video. Frank teaches people how to disseminate the video. I'm friends with Jeff Herring, who teaches you article marketing. I'm going to bring all these folks right to you. The information they're going to share is information that they share in their proprietary stuff. They've said, hey, you know what? We're friends. I'll share my stuff with you. Access to a private membership forum where you'll have support from not only me. I show up on my own forum. Have you ever been to forums where the expert doesn't ever show up? I show up. Remember John Dilemma yesterday? You can't find the phone number. You can't find their email address, and they never return it. It's not me. I'm all about communicating, folks. I love it. I love talking to people, and answering questions, and helping folks, and directing people to resources. And I've learned a lot of resources just here, being here, talking to folks. I love sharing that kind of information with people. So I'm going to be very accessible in my own membership forum. There's an audio library. I've been recording things for the last 2 years, and I've been slapped on the hand a few times by my friends here because I do recordings, and I get it, and then I move on and do another recording. I have all this stuff collecting virtual dust. I know, naughty, right? I'm getting there. But I'm going to give it to you all. Apparently, I'm going to be selling it. That's going to be included in this program. I've got an article library. I have over 80 articles that I've written. Private monthly e-zine. There'll be a monthly question and answer teleseminar where you can come and ask your questions. Because, yeah, it's nice if you can learn some content, but I have some specific questions I need to know answers to right now. Great, come and we'll do the answers. I'm going to put you in mastermind groups. So excited. We've heard about the mastermind concept. This is a powerful, powerful concept. And frankly, a lot of people say they're in masterminds, and they're not. They just get on the phone, they chit-chat. They're not masterminding. So I'm going to teach you how to mastermind, and then I'm going to hook you up with mastermind partners that will help move you to the next level in your business. How powerful is that piece alone? Weekly group coaching. Oh, this is fun. We've done this a couple of times. I set up a Skype group chat, and everybody comes and they ask questions. We've talked about all kinds of stuff on this IM chat. It's so great. And it's an hour, and I'm accessible. I make myself directly accessible to the people that I help because I realize the people who need help are the people coming to see me. I'm selling myself, right? I'm selling my own credibility. So why would I pawn it off on somebody else? It's me. It's all me. That's who folks get. That's who you're going to get. Special group member discounts to my stuff, free access to paid teleseminars that I've done. I've got my own signature speech called Communicating Your Credibility, Credibility and Cash Flow. You'll get that so you can model that yourself. I've got an exclusive goal setting worksheet because, again, we talked about the goals. If you don't know where you're going, how are you going to get there, right? So I've got that. A collection of the best goal setting articles. Oh, yeah, got some good stuff on that. A resolutions results program. Okay, the last 2 years I've run this resolutions results program. Last year it was specifically for business. The year before it was both business and personal. That's 20 weeks of information, 20 weeks of really powerful stuff. All of that is already included. Okay, this is a years-long membership program. The value, by the way, with this, one last thing that you get is a monthly private coaching session with me, a 30-minute coaching session. I charge $650 a month for my coaching, $250 an hour. So you get a private coaching session with me. The value of this is $856. If you split all these into pieces and you look at the price of them, it's $8,856. Okay, I'm going to do it for you here. Let's do it for $997 for a year. If you need to split that up, we can split it up. Okay, $997. And then the Ultimate Communication Package B, I'm really excited because I've never done a live event all by myself before. And people keep saying, can I talk to you? Can we do this? And it's hard to sit down one-on-one with people and give them advice in little drips and drops here and there. So let's do this. I've decided I'm going to create this event. This is the Ultimate Communication Package. It includes everything that I've already talked about. And then you're going to come to Chicago, where I live. I'm only doing this for 5 people. And what we're going to do is we're going to develop. It's not in the winter. No, it won't be in the winter. I promise. Because nobody wants to come to Chicago in February or March. I know. Okay, it'll be late spring. We're going to be doing this. And we're going to do 12 months of your marketing plan. Because this is the mistake that I see with a lot of solo entrepreneurs. I want to do a teleseminar next week. Okay. I'm going to do a teleseminar next week. Maybe I should, I don't know what should I do next. And they get an idea, and then they kind of do it, but then they don't really finish it, or they half implement it. So what we're going to do is we're going to sit down, we're going to develop your 12-month communication marketing plan. 12 months. So you're going to know what you're going to be doing from the moment you step in that door to a year from then. Okay, that's valuable in and of itself. We're also this is going to be a workshop event. It won't be a selling event. It's going to be a workshop. You're going to actually leave with 3 to 5 articles written. You're going to leave with your signature speech outline done. You're going to stand up. I'm going to videotape you so that you've got video to put on your website to shoot out through Traffic Geyser so people can see how fabulous you are, invite you to come to their stage so you can build your credibility, build your confidence. We're going to do that there at that weekend. You'll have a press release written about yourself that you can shoot out. We'll put it on the press release sites. That we'll show you how to do that. Really simple, really easy, so that you can start driving more traffic back to your site. We're going to get testimonials for you. If you don't have testimonials yet, we've already heard how important testimonials are. If you don't have testimonials for you, we'll find a way for everybody in the group to leave with testimonials, and not just one testimonial, but testimonials from everyone in the group. So that again, there'll be video testimonials. So you can put them on your website. Again, boosting your credibility. Okay, all of that is going to happen. I'm going to start doing these events regularly, but this will be my first time. Okay? The value of that is $13,856. I'm going to be charging $6,000 for those events. First time. So what I'm going to do is I thought, you know what? I love the JV Alert Live crowd. And the people who come here are the people who know that you need to meet people and you need to communicate effectively, right? The people who come to JV Alert are smart people. You get it. I want to help people who are smart people. I want to help people who get it. And I only help people who take action. I fired clients who have said they're going to do something and they haven't. I want to help people take action. This workshop will get you into action. You're going to leave with tools that are usable and in most cases already done and uploaded and ready to roll. So that on Monday morning when you leave, your business is rocking and rolling. I'm going to do that for $24.97. $24.97, 3 days with me. All of these pieces done. Only for 5 people. Only for 5 people. We covered a lot today. We talked about the communication model, how that's going to work for your business. I would love to talk to you about this program. I'd love to answer your questions. And we've got just a few minutes before we have to get started and get back, so I'm going to give you that time to take care of that. But please do see me. I'd love to talk to you more about that. Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate your time.